Hey guys, today I am going to talk about my pet peeves in video games. As it should be known, video games aren't perfect, they can have flaws, and if not that, certain things will irk you. So here are the things in video games that irk me. This first one would be long loading screens. I'm sure we all hate them. They are present in games like Mega Man X7, Sonic 06, and Lego Island 2. At least the loading times were fixed in Mega Man X7 on the Legacy Collection. Sonic 06 has more loading screens than it needs. As for Lego Island 2, those loading screens go on for over 1 minute. I at least enjoy Lego Island 2 unlike Mega Man X7. I probably wouldn't enjoy most of Sonic 06, of which I never played. This next pet peeve would be forced tutorials. So tutorials in video games are good for first-time players, especially when there are really unfamiliar game mechanics. The issue is, some players will be experienced and they are replaying the game, so they don't need the tutorials, but then the game is forcing you to go through them and it's just very pointless. The one forced tutorial that infuriates me the most is the catching tutorial in Pokemon games. Those tutorials have been forced since Gen 3. I get that you are playing as a new trainer, and it makes sense to learn how to catch Pokemon, but at the same time, I feel like a trainer could figure it out on their own. So therefore, the catching tutorial should be optional for those who played Pokemon games before. I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels this way. So please Game Freak, make the catching tutorial optional in your next games. I also hate tight time limits in video games. They are so stressful and expect perfection out of you, and that is just not fun at all. It can be a huge turn-off when having to do time trials. I get that the time trials should be challenging, but not when so much is expected of me. I cannot enjoy a challenge if it's stressing me out. At least in most games, time trials are optional and not required for 100% completion, unlike in some Crash Bandicoot games. Next is You Suck features. These features include things like getting the option to skip a level or boss if it's too hard, or in the case of Super Mario 3D Land and World, you get the invincibility Tanuki suit after dying a certain number of times. And let's not forget the Super Guide Pig in Donkey Kong Country Returns. These are the kind of things I don't want to see. Super Guide is the worst of all because the level gets played for you, which defeats the whole purpose of playing a video game. When a You Suck feature appears in a video game, the game is basically making fun of you for sucking at the game. I get that a kid could get impatient and frustrated when something in a game is too hard, but guess what? When I was a kid, video games didn't have any sort of You Suck feature. You actually had to try no matter how many times you died, but once you could beat the level or boss, it feels good. Super Mario Odyssey kind of has a You Suck feature, but it's more of an easy mode that can be turned on any time, and one thing I appreciate is that the game won't suggest you turn it on if you die a lot, which is good, because if the game did suggest it, the game is basically telling me that I suck. I also don't like misleading hints, which isn't the most common, but it's infuriating when it happens. When giving a hint, the choice of words is very important. Like in Paper Mario the Origami King, you fight a boss called the Ice Elemental, and at one point it will put ice chunks on certain panels, and Olivia's hint on how to destroy them is misleading. She tells you to try sliding the panels around. Notice how she used the word around. That gave me the impression to slide the panels in a circle, and when doing that it does nothing. So I watched a video and it turned out I had to slide the panels vertically through the center, and that's not what the hint was telling me. I never had to slide panels vertically in a boss fight until that one fight, so I naturally wasn't going to think to do that. It also bothers me when a video game has unnecessary dialogue. Usually it will be for very obvious things, like in Zelda Ocarina of Time, when you're in the forest temple. There are these twisty corridors, and when you first enter one, Navi points out that it's twisty. Like, really? I can see that, you don't need to tell me. An even worse example of unnecessary dialogue would be in Mega Man X5. Alia will interrupt your gameplay several times, and it's usually pointless dialogue. And I don't like how some games handle going back into a level you already beat for a collectible you missed. Like in Kirby games, if you miss a collectible and go back into the level for it, you have to beat the level after you get it, when it would be easier to just exit the stage right then and there. It just feels like a waste of time. I love the Kirby series, but that one thing just bothers me. I also hate having to collect stuff again after I die. That's annoying. At least Donkey Kong games let you get a missed collectible without having to beat the level again. And that's all the pet peeves I will talk about for this video. Let me know in a comment what you think of these pet peeves, and if there are any pet peeves I didn't think of that you may have. I would love to read about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching.